So how long was it before you got the hang of things in 8th grade that you really felt like, okay, I can do this?
About 6 months, because I was watching cartoon in the morning, watching, Kung Fu Theater back in the 80s. I watched that, and that's how I learned my English. Believe it or not, that's how I learned it. And then they give me a book like this thick, how to pronounce stuff, and it literally like, you learn foreign language, how to pronounce stuff, and I would practice wherever we go. I would practice. I would literally walk around with the book, and I would tell them. Sometimes I'd say wrong. I'd say, I would say this, and I would point at them, and they'd read it, and they'd say, oh, and then they would say, I said, how you say it, and then they tell me how to say it. So by the following year, they put me in 9th grade. Still like no phone instruction of how to learn English language, And,
wow.
And then I go from there.
Totally self-taught.
Pretty much, yeah. From TV and the book out in my hand.
So it got a little easier through the high school years. Enough to get by.
Yeah, enough to get by. Yeah, I remember spelling was struggle. Math was easy because I'm already way up in math. Math is like, I can do that in sleep, doesn't matter what grade, but English, that's my roughest part. And try to learn geography, and try to learn, 50 states, the capital. I remember I couldn't even spell none, and I guess they never failed me anything. They just, yep, next year you go up, yep, next year you go up, you know what I mean? So, but I never really finished high school, you know what I mean? Because I'm already like, when I was in 10th grade, I think I'm already 18, I think, something like that. And, I work an odd job here and there. But I always know that I'm gonna end up being in the military one way or another. Kind of part of me want to serve in the military to give it back to the country that gave me the freedom. I think that's how I look at it.
At what age did you become aware of that?
I think soon I'd come over, probably, 16, 17, I was looking at, how, even though they weren't my family, but my family, my grandfather, my uncle, everybody served in the military, worked for, South Vietnamese, worked with American. And then, of course, my dad was American at the time. I thought he was American, but he was Australian. And I kind of like, around time, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. And I don't know if you remember the commercial, Be All You Can Be. I see that all the time. Every time I watch a cartoon in the morning, I was like, man, I want to be like those guys. And I remember clear as day, the Ranger coming out, repair all the helicopter. Ranger lead the way to put the brake on. I was like, fuck, one day I'm going to be those guys. Yeah. And I think I was 18 or 19 when I went up to the recruiter and said,
you sought out the recruiter.
I want to do this. And he said, well, just bring me your high school diploma, It didn't work out because he said you have to have a high school diploma. I didn't have it because, I dropped out of school. So I went pursued GED. So I did the whole process, take all the exams. And I come back and say, hey, I'm ready to go. I give him GED. He's like, yeah, hey, the Army no longer take GED. You have to have a high school diploma. I was like, well, I dropped out of high school. He said, well, there's a program you can go community college, get it. And I went back and did that whole thing. Back up in that story, so I have a friend. Can I mention my friend here?
Sure.
So my friend who I work McDonald's with, and I have plenty story about McDonald's. So Billy Ray Thompson. I said, hey, Billy, I want to join the Army, but they told me I have to have a high school diploma. Can you help me? He said, what do you need? I said, well, I can't work because I have to go to class every day to earn this thing. So I need you to help me pay my insurance, gas, and car payment. Without hesitation, I consider Billy one of my friends, and I still instill this in my kid. I tell him that's a true friend. He said, yep, no problem. So Billy was working like whatever it takes to pay for my car payment, insurance, give me gas money, and food money so I can focus, get my education so I can go in the military.
Wow.
Yeah. So long story short, I got the diploma. I come back to the same recruiter. I said, hey, I'm ready. He's like, all right, take a test. And Billy said, hey, I want to take a test too because Billy graduated high school. We went and take a test, like 4 of us. And he come out, he's like, yeah, it's only one of you passed the test. I didn't know this while we were taking the test. The other 3 are copying my test. The ASVAB is easy because it's mostly vocabulary and math and, common sense stuff, so that was easy. He's like, only one of you passed. I'm thinking, oh man, I failed because I don't speak English. He's like, yeah, Jerry, you can come in. Other 3, hey, you guys can restudy. I was like, holy crap, I was the only one pass. It's like, and then I remember the recruiter telling me, said, I think 3 of your buddies copy your test because you guys have the exact same answer. It was your answer. And
so how did they not pass if they were copying your test?
Because every test is different.
Oh, I see.
So it was me and two other Vietnamese kid, and then Billy Thompson. And long story, I was the only one. And then I went in the military, and I was supposed to go and become a ranger, because I told the recruiter the video. And I remember he gave me a choice, a bonus. He said either the college fund or a $5,000 bonus. I said, no, I want a college fund. 'Cause my plan was just do 3 year and then come out and go to college. I want to be in, something to do with math. Like, my goal has always been, I want to be an architecture engineer.
Okay.
Long story short, next day I went in, I go basic training, jump school, and I was supposed to go where Ranger Battalion was supposed to be. It didn't happen. They said, hey, you're not U.S. citizen, you can't do whatever it is, whatever, long story short, end up in the 10-mile division, light infantry. I said light, I had them thinking light, I mean you don't carry anything. Yeah, that was wrong, they didn't say that to me. I showed up from Fort Benning after jump school, went up to New York. Benning was like, I think at the time 70, 80 some degree. New York, they said, hey, you lucky you got here on time, because this was like in March or April of '89. We have 20 below zero. I like, so the whole time I was up there, I tell my platoon sergeant, everybody said, hey, I'm from Vietnam, I shouldn't be in the cold, I should be somewhere nice and hot. They're like, oh, yeah, of course. He took me outside, took me outside, and he's like, just go ahead and get down low crawl. I low crawl back and forth. He's asked me, he's like, you warm yet? I would have been honest, I thought he would ask me an honest question. I was like, no, not yet. He said, all right, keep crawling. After about 30, 45 minutes, I realized, like, I need to tell him he's warm so I can get up, I think. So finally, he stopped me again. He's like, you warm yet? I said, yes. He said, oh, get up. I'm like, shit, I should have told him I'm warm, like, after 5 minutes crawling. But I was trying for a month, and then after a while, I realized, yeah, the wake-up call, I'm not going anywhere. I'm signed up for 3 year and 10-mile division.
Right.
And I was up there in
You
Fort
don't get
Drum.
to choose what
Exactly.
where you wanted to be.
Fort Drum, New York.
At what point did you realize you were going to be a lifer?
My first encounter was Special Forces from, I want to say from 10th Group, were there doing EIB with us. And I look over, I was like, who the hell are those guys? They don't wear all the, because as the infantry 10-mile division, you wear a mask, you wear the old freaking bayonet that rub your leg raw on this side, the mask rub you raw, and you wear the vest that continue wet, soaking wet, and keep you wet and cold. I love it. And then I look at the SF guy, they didn't wear a ball cap, bandana, do whatever they want. My platoon sergeant's like, don't talk to those guys, they're Special Forces. I was like, shit, I want to be like those guys. Can I talk to them? He's like, no. And then the recruiter coming, I was E3 at the time, I think. I went and recruited off when they have the briefing, the SF briefing. They're like, yeah, you only PFC, you can't go, you have to be E4. I was like, no problem, I'll wait. And then next encounter was the 7th Group down Puerto Rico. They're doing some kind of ocean venture. They come in, same thing, they wear OG 107, bandana. Here I am, like all soaking wet, hot, wear all this stuff, same thing. I asked, same platoon sergeant, I said, hey, can I talk to this? They're like, no, you're not gonna be. I said, what do you want to talk to him, ask him about? Right there and then, I kind of knew I want to be one of those guys, because at the time I look at him and say, man, these guys do what they want, and they don't have to follow the rule. That's what I thought. And then when I finally made E4, I put it in the packet, and then went to selection. I was planning to just do 3 year, get out, go to college, but when I went in SF, I think my turning point is after my first deployment. Actually, yeah, my first, I guess you can say training event. When I graduated Q Corps, they didn't know what to do with me, because I just come out of Vietnam. I'm fresh out of Vietnam, speak 3-3. They want to send me back into Vietnam because they got this body recovery stuff based out of Hawaii. I said, listen, I didn't come in Special Forces to do that job. So they kind of hold me in Fort Bragg for why should I decide what the hell to do with this kid. Because I said, hey, no, I want to be Special Forces to do Special Forces job. So they finally, whoever it is, decide, blast off, say, okay, you're going to Okinawa. So I went to Okinawa. And the first training event was the unconventional warfare. Oh, it's perfect. I mean, that's what you do in the Q course, your last who you have before you graduate. And then I think that was my turning point, is that this is what I want to do. This is what you know what I mean?
You just got hooked.
It's like I just got hooked. I was like, oh man, this is awesome. You go in a country, go in a place that people like it remind me of when I was growing up. You know what I mean? Like
How so?
like you go in a, say for instance, you go in a country like Cambodia or Vietnam or any Asian country, any country that can't even defend themselves. You know what I mean? And then you come in, you train them, you equip them, you kind of like lead them, and then now you see, you're like, wow, now they fight for themselves, they do everything for themselves. You know, you kind of stand back, just like, I did that.
So
you know
you're
what I mean?
providing what you would have wanted
Yeah, you know, yeah,
to receive.
everything. You know, it's kind of rewarding. It's kind of like rewarding to you, but no one will ever know what you did. And I think in special forces, I think a lot of things that we do that we're not looking for recognition. You know what I mean? It's so rewarding, so satisfaction, and it bring me back a lot. Every time I go in a country, that remind me of Vietnam. You know. So.
Yeah. Giving back. That's what you mean when you say I'm giving back
Yeah.
to the country that gave you
Yep.
what you have.
Yep.
Yeah. So I have to get you to tell this story because it is my favorite story. I don't know if it's if you have to edit things as you go, I understand.
Yeah.
But I know there's a lot of fun stuff that goes on in downtime in the Special Forces life.
Yes.
And
yes.
one of those times there was a monkey involved in a purchase of a monkey.
Yes.
Can you tell that story? What
This
country were you in? And
well, yeah, this happened. Well, this Iraq and Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, everybody buy a monkey because like $5 you can buy them in town. But this particular event happened in Iraq. You know, during mid 2000, a lot of bad guys wait for the team to go in the house, and then they will blow up the house, kill the whole team. So we have dog sniffing dog. The dog would go in and sniff ID and sit. So you stand outside, you're waiting, you're like, okay, he found ID. Who's gonna go in to get him?
So he wouldn't come back. The dog doesn't
Yeah,
come
yeah.
back like
You know,
once
you wouldn't want to send the hand. Well, they have dog handling and all that stuff. But long as the joke come about was one of my genius. SF, we got a lot of genius guy. He's like, Sergeant Major. I was Sergeant Major at the time when in Iraq. We went to AOB. He's like, Sergeant Major, I have this great idea. I was like, please. He's like, we're gonna buy a monkey, and we're gonna build a harness on the dog. Now picture this. He did it all. He strapped on the dog, put the monkey on the dog, and strapped the monkey down.
What was the intention?
I don't know. So he just demonstrated to me that, you know, so the dog went crazy, ape shit, freaking. I was like, oh, it's not working. He's like, well, the idea of having the monkey, he would go in with the dog. Then when the dog find the ID, he would sit down. The monkey would come out and give us hand and arm signal. I was like, what hand and arm signal? He should be doing this. Then we know it's a fucking bomb in there. I'm like, it's not gonna work. Monkey not gonna come out and do this. And what's so I can train him. I was like, no, you cannot. That's the story behind it. The whole point of having a monkey and the dog. And the dog constantly trying to attack the monkey. Monkey run all over the place. And the monkey never drink water. They would give the monkey like anything from dip to cigarette, whatever it is. And the monkey would crap and throwing stuff all over people. You know.
They taught him to smoke.
They do everything. I have one guy, like, he had body armor on, monkey had body armor sitting on his shoulder. He smoked, he puffed, and the monkey will like, literally puff with him. I'm like, get the monkey off the show. We about to go on op. Like, literally, these guys, like, I mean, we're not supposed to have animal. Or this guy drive around literally, like, there's one guy literally hand stitch make a mini body armor for the monkey. So you don't get shot up.
That had to be the coolest monkey around. We had a great, super long interview with Jerry, and it was just so interesting that we just had to keep asking questions. So we've cut it into a few pieces. Please continue to watch in a separate video that will be a 3-part series, and enjoy the whole thing, guys. Thanks for sticking with us.